Greetings to our constituents, our fellow Floridians, and also to all Americans. This is Congressman Allen West just giving you a short video update, weekly wrap-up. This week we learned once again, some horrifying statistics here for our United States of America. When we find out that 15% now are part of the poverty level, we already know that 41% are on food stamps. And then we had 428,000 jobless claims come in this past week, when we know that 375 jobless claims is where we need to be to try to get this situation in the United States of America back under control. The president has been running around the country, of course at the University of Richmond, down at North Carolina State University, talking about the American Jobs Act. Well, first of all, it has not been filed in the House. A colleague of mine, Representative Louis Gohmert, filed the American Jobs Act, a 2-page bill. So the president really does just have a speech. He just has a concept, just has a bunch of paper that has not been brought to this Congress, not been put down into record that we can start to consider. Not been sent over to the Congressional Budget Office for evaluation or for scoring. It's so important that we start to rectify the situation. But the first thing is that I believe that the president, his administration, has to come to the understanding that all of these policies that they have promoted as far as restoring our economy, going back to the original stimulus bill, have failed. And now what we see is a president who is proposing a $450 billion mini-me stimulus, which once again talks about the same thing. Is it really strategic level thinking or strategic level vision for the President of the United States to talk about repairing windows in schools and rooftops? We don't need to talk about quote-unquote shovel-ready jobs anymore. What we need is someone that understands the three things that we have to do. The first thing is we have to restore confidence in our private sector and the free market systems here in the United States of America. That means we have to have the right type of economic policies, tax policies, regulatory policies, and monetary policies to get this economy on the right track. Today in the House of Representatives, we took a step to say that the National Labor Relations Board has no place as a government entity telling a private sector business or corporation where they should relocate to provide jobs for Americans, which is exactly what the NLRB is doing and bringing a lawsuit against Boeing because they want to locate a plant in a right-to-work state. We cannot operate in a country where the regulations that are coming out of Washington, D.C. are counterproductive to the growth and success, the long-term sustainability of our economy and our job growth. We need to have the right type of tax policies. When we live in America and a president who continues to talk about the means by which he's going to pay for this $450 billion plan, or mini-me stimulus as I call it, is to just raise taxes. We always hear about this millionaire and billionaire talk, this class warfare rhetoric. But yet those are the type of people that the president hangs out with when he goes to Martha's Vineyard or when he needs to supply funding for his campaign. We need to get rid of the hypocrisy and understand that there are people out there that are job creators. And with the right type of policies, we can once again restore the confidence so that we can grow. We don't need to hear talk about keeping interest rates at this dangerously low level. When I think about 1990, when Japan went into a recession, I believe they tried 9 different stimulus packages, and economists still refer to that as the lost decade. I do not want to see a lost decade for our United States of America. The next important thing is we have to make sure that we can open up the access to capital for our small businesses. And that means that our small community banks need to be taken from under the yoke of the Dodd-Frank law, where you see these incredible regulations and examiners who are now coming down upon them that are causing them to shut down, restricting them to provide the access to the capital so that our small businesses can grow. We're dampening the entrepreneurial spirit of the United States of America. And we all know that small business is the economic engine of this country. We have too many closed storefronts when you drive through Congressional District 22. We have got to incentivize. We have got to find the ways by which we can reward Americans and that American spirit, their ideas, their innovation, their ingenuity, and their investment so that we can grow once again at the small business level. And most importantly, we've got to provide the certainty. There are too many questions out there when it comes about our economy because we don't have a steady hand. We don't have someone that really does have a vision for our country. What we really do have is a rigid ideologue. When the president continues to say, pass my bill and pass my bill, what that means is the president is not concerned about listening to those job creators out there, asking them what is necessary to grow this economy, what is necessary to stimulate long-term job growth. All it is about, once again, expanding and the overreach of the federal government. We have seen that happen now going on for 3 years, and we know what that has resulted in. An incredible debt that is now about 74% of our GDP, government spending that is about 24% of our GDP, out of control deficits for the past 3 years of 1.42 trillion, 1.29 trillion, and an estimated 1.5 trillion in this fiscal year 2011. We've got to do better by the American people. I will continue to fight for our small businesses. I will continue to stand for the right principles for our national security. And when I speak about our national security, next week is going to be a very important vote that will be happening in the United Nations. A vote which will put our most trusted ally in the Middle East, Israel, at risk as far as their security. We must not allow the unilateral declaration of a Palestinian state, and truly a state that still does not recognize the modern-day state of Israel, nor have they denounced a lot of the terrorist activities that are occurring that threaten Israel each and every day. I ask the President, I ask Susan Rice, our ambassador to the United Nations, to firmly stand and not support the backdooring of the peace process in the Middle East by allowing a unilateral declaration by the United Nations. And if that were to occur, that's why this past week I stood at a press conference supporting my colleague from Florida, the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, Ileana Ross-Layton, because we must now start withholding our prized taxpayer funding from a United Nations that seems that it cannot own up to its original mandate. And if the Palestinians and the Palestinian Authority continue to pursue this backdoor peace process and not be a credible peace partner, then as Kay Granger said, we will withhold the funding from them as well. It is time for us to understand we have to be good stewards of the American taxpayer dollar, and we cannot continue to reward bad behavior. Those are the things that I stand for, and that's why I'm so honored to be a guardian of the fiscal security and the physical security of our republic, this place we call home, the United States of America. God bless you all, and thank you.